Today on GeekSmart, we're going to delve into the role of storage, and this is a Synology storage device that I purchased myself. Was not sent this. This is something I purchased, and that's actually because my Drobo that I've been using for years now finally called it ends and called it quits. So I needed something that I wanted to change over to, and I've been looking at this for a little while. So this is this is going to happen. Let's set it up. Hey guys, welcome back to GeekSmart, and today we're working on this. This is the Synology DS1621 Plus. It's one of their newer ones. To be honest, originally I kind of wanted a rack mount unit, but boy, the cost differences, it didn't make sense. Specifically because I have a tower rack. So let's see if I can get this out of the box. There's a box in a box. All right. Haha. Alright, so this is their Plus series. I would have loved to have the XS series, but I just couldn't justify the cost, and cost is, money is always a little tight, but $7.99 is what this goes for, and I couldn't find it for a deal anywhere. But let's see here. So we got some screws there. So that's our Ethernet cables. Key, like some kind of key, and then a power cable in there. So that's in that box. A little bit of a quick installation guide. Down there. All right, let's scoop the thing out, and that's all that's in the box. So this is the back of the unit. Maybe I should bring it in. Okay, so this is the back of the unit here. You can see that we actually have USB ports, 4 gig Ethernet ports, 2 expansion ports over here. We actually have a PCI Express slot for adding whatever, a 10 gig connection, whatever we want to do. Power port up here. So it's kind of sits in the middle of where I really wanted to be. I'd love to have a 10G connection on it, but I can always add it, so that's the nice thing. But this definitely fits in a nice price point. On the other side, this is their 6-drive model. So we have 6 drives, and let's see here. Okay, so you flip that, and you can pull out the carriage. And there's the carriage. So these are, the nice thing about like the rack mount ones, they usually have metallic parts. These are going to be more plastic, but for the price, this seems like it's going to be a really, really good fit. So I'm eventually going to add multiple drives in here. I actually have 2 drives to start. And what I did is I actually shucked or took out the hard drive out of 2 14 terabyte external drives from Western Digital, just their Easy Store drives. They were on super sale over Black Friday. And I thought, you know what, this is going to be a real easy way to get as much storage as possible right away. And then it's going to be a test, right? So last time I definitely did higher end, like just the standard NAS drives. These are obviously built for external storage. We're going to see how they work in a NAS configuration. I decided just to go this route, and yeah. So I actually have 3 of these. One of them I'm temporarily using while my Drobo is not in function. But let's see how they actually fit in the unit here real quick. So according to the instructions, on the back here there's these bars that go down the side, and you just pull out on each side, it looks like. And there we go. Alright. The rubber gasket's already built in. Put the drive in like so. Seats in good. Okay. And then we put these back in. These actually have the pieces that actually hold the drive in. And that appears like that's it. Well, that was stupid easy. Okay. And then should be able to just slide it in. And that's one drive of my 2 drives loaded. just to show you, this is the drive that I'm using, just the standard Best Buy special that they had at Black Friday. I couldn't beat the price. I couldn't even come close to coming close to the price anywhere else. So I can't wait to eventually have 3 of them loaded in here and see how they run. But I'm gonna get this one loaded off camera, and then we'll continue on. Now, I did want to point out a couple things. I do have 2 hard drives in here right now. My third one actually, I actually put data on it temporarily, and so eventually I'll put my third one in here. But I did want to point out a couple things. First, I use 3.5-inch full desktop base hard drives, so I could just use the sidebars for holding it in. If you're using 2.5-inch drives, that's what that little bag of screws when we popped out. It's actually going to screw to the chassis itself from the bottom, so you're not going to use the quick access. You will have to screw them in. Also, to point out here, there we go. The keys that come in here, you know, there's just a plastic little key. They actually are to lock the hard drives, essentially, so you can't accidentally remove them, because they're just a plastic key, right? There's a little hole here on the front, and if we put the key into it and turn it, now I can't quick and easy remove the hard drive, right? Like this one I can just pop out. I'm not saying that you need to do that, but if you put it in an area that you don't want somebody accidentally hitting it, or you definitely want to secure it a little more, that's what the keys are for. I'm going to have this in an area that actually nobody else goes, so in my house, but yes, did want to point that out at least. We do have the power cord, and then we do have a couple Ethernet cables as well that we can utilize from their set. Obviously, we're going to need the power cord for sure. So what we're going to do is actually, I'm going to head back and I'm going to show you exactly how I'm going to set it up, I guess. So before we head back there, I did want to show you one other thing that I got that is actually going to be, I'm going to put in the parts list down below that I bought, because I am putting this in a rack, but it's not rack mountable. So you're basically looking at a shelf, right? Well, this is a shelf off Amazon, Nave Point. It's just their 10-inch 1U shelf that the depth and everything is basically exactly what I'm looking for. It does have kind of a tray system, so it can't slide off the front or the back. So that's kind of what I was going for with this. So that's what I got. 25 bucks I think is what the shelf costs. So in addition to this, you know, 825 bucks plus taxes. So that's what I'm going to be mounting the Synology server on, is setting it on this shelf. So it does come with some hardware as well. I don't know if I'll use their hardware. I'll probably use my own. But it does come with the shelf. So not made by Synology, of course. Then again, this whole system is something that I bought anyway, and I'm trying to make it work exactly how I want it to work. So let's head back to my rack. Let's get everything plugged in, powered up, and should be our next step, I would assume. But if we go to the quick installation guide, let's take a peek at step 4. Step 3 is put the hard drives in and lock them. Optional, to be honest. Step 4 is plug it in. Cool. So basically in this setup, we're going to plug power into this. We're going to plug an Ethernet cable from the server itself to my switch, which then should have access to all of my devices. So let's get going in there. So I'm going to apologize a little bit because of noise in here, but this is my utility room, so a lot of things are going on right now. That said, if you've watched my videos before, you've seen my rack setup. This is the new Synology server that I have here with my my 1U rack that I have already put in here. Actually, if you see that below, that's my Drobo that died right down here. That was not in here when it died. It's actually a direct connect one, so it was actually at my computer. So now we're going network-wise with Synology. But I have it in here just kind of keeping it out of the way until I get my rental unit so I can pull the stuff off of it. That said, I have the power cord ready to plug in back here. I haven't plugged it in yet. And then I did run the network wire from just the first Ethernet port. It doesn't really matter because it should just be a 4-port switch built into the back of it. I'm just going from one of those to my main Dream Machine switch up here. I could plug it into any of these switch ports. It really wouldn't matter. But I'm going to go into the main unit up here. So that's what this is right here. This is actually the Ethernet cable that came with it. I actually like the Ethernet cables that I have better, but I don't know if I have a shielded one. So this is a shielded cable, so I'm going to go ahead and just use it. I can always, shut this down or change it out later. So that's just going from here down here, and then plugs into the first unit. And then I just got to plug the power cord in real quick. Let me do that real quick. Power cord's plugged in. So then we just have the power button here, and new lights are blinking, fans are turning on. That's good news. I'm gonna let this bad boy boot up, and then we'll get ready to head over to the computer side and see if we can connect to it and start from there. But the network port's blinking too. I'm going to show you the backside just so you know what it looks like back here. So again, just plugged into the first port there, and then of course the power is plugged in over there. Big power port. It looks like it's almost built for like a locking power plug, but it just came with the standard one. I don't know if they offer a different version, but yeah, we're blinking. We're good to go. So it did just make a beep noise just when I stopped the other one. You can see LAN 1 is plugged in, the other three are not. Status blinking amber. I don't know what that means yet. Lights for both these two hard drives are good, and then you can actually see that I am getting a 1 gig connection up here, so I am getting the full connection speed. This is a pretty chintzy cable that it came with, but it should work just fine because it is just a simple patch cable. But just simple things that I'm going to point out. So, all right, let's get over to the computer. Okay, so here we are on, basically I'm just on Google right now, but if I actually go to the piece of paper that it came with, it says, we go to find.synology.com in the web browser. So find.synology.com and searching for Synology devices. So there we go. We got a Synology NAS. We got all the MAC address and everything. Status not installed. Let's connect to it. I have read. Yes. Okay. You can read the user agreement, privacy agreement. I'm not going to go through that right now. Welcome. Well, let's hit setup. Latest DSM for new features. Yeah, let's install it. Why not? I understand that data on these hard drives will not be removed. All data on the hard drives 1 and 2 will be removed during the installation. Yep, that's fine. They're blank anyway. They're brand new hard drives. And, they're not even hard drives that are technically, I think, listed on Synology's website. Because you can go on to Synology.com to get compatible drives. I decided to just go all out and let's find out. But here we are. So it's going to be about 10 minutes. I'm going to maybe speed part of this process up, probably just turn the camera off and come back when it's done doing whatever it's doing, and then we'll talk about what it did. So I decided to walk it through it. So it did its install the 100% for installing the software. Now it's restarting the NAS. I'm assuming the 10 minutes is really the installation process while it's restarting and doing the install. So we'll let it do its thing. So about halfway through, I had a little over 5 minutes left in that countdown when it had restarted, and it automatically came to this screen. So I didn't do anything. It's all it did. So create an administrator account, server name, username, password, confirm password, password strength. So I'm going to do that. I'm going to be right back. Okay, so once I hit the next, it actually took about 30 seconds, and then it came to the setup quick connect. Makes it easy to access your Synology without port forwarding. So basically, email address, password, confirm password, and then subscribe, and then quick connect ID. If you already have a quick connect ID with Synology, you can create your own. So I'm going to go ahead and create a Synology account so I can do this without port forwarding. Okay, after I did the create an account, it came right to this screen, which is going to be terms of service stuff, privacy policy, and hit next, and we'll let it load. And we'll see what happens. Okay, Quick Connect is ready. Drag me to your desktop. Alright, I'm going to drag this to my desktop. Boom. Let's hit next. You're all set. Share my Synology device network location to allow me to locate it and find it anywhere at find.synology.com. I'm going to go ahead and do that. Hit go. Smart update. From now on, once a new DSM update is ready, your Synology NAS will automatically check if the update patch addresses any issues in your current configuration, according to determine whether or not to notify me of such an update. That's fine. Great. That's fantastic. Got it. Device analytics. Preview specs, privacy. Do you want to enable device analytics? I do, actually. This is obviously something that you can choose or choose not to do. I do like the fact that they give you the choice. That's nice. Privacy statement. Got it. Hit OK. Alright. Access all built-in installation packages from the main menu, which is the... I don't know if you can see that if I have that. It's kind of off to the side of the screen. Let me zoom out a little bit. There we go. Alright, so up here is the main menu. Discover more applications in the package center. Okay. Cool. More settings are available in the control panel. We are healthy. This gives a resource monitor down here to see how much RAM we're using, what the landline using, how much of that we're using. So that is step one, I guess. The Synology NAS is working. I'm not going to do a whole bunch of setup in terms of applications and stuff because, well, first of all, I don't know what I'm going to be doing yet. And I don't know what applications I want. Let's just open it up. Package. Okay. Gotcha. Privacy statement. A lot of privacy statements. So these are suites that you can get. Microsoft 365 stuff. Antivirus. Oh yeah. Lots of stuff. So lots of good stuff. Installed packages. We have File Station and Universal Search. Got it. Okay, well, let's make sure we can actually access this from my computer, from my, Finder on my Mac. So this is Finder. As you can see here, we have, some hard drives that I have attached to it. But if I go to Network, right here, right down here, I can, oh, there it is, right there, Shoe Media. That's my server that I created it. Connect as, I'm going to put in my username and password. And yeah, let me do that real quick. Well, I think before I do that, actually, I have to get a volume going. So if I go to File Station, there are no shareable folder here. Hit OK. No available volumes. Please create a new volume. All right, well, let's do that. So unused devices, available slots 2. See what we need to do here. Volume. Create. This will create an SHR volume, which optimizes the performance of space allocation. When 2 or more devices are installed, data protection for drives and default is available. Okay, cool. Well, I'm going to go ahead and hit quick. RAID type SHR. SHR number of... okay, so we're going to do SHR because I don't have enough drives to do SHR2 anyway, and I'm not looking for 2 redundancy. I'm looking for a single drive capable failure. So that's what I want. SHR. This is the recommended RAID type for beginning users. And that's what I want, to be honest. I want 1 drive. If 1 drive fails, I'm still good. Hit next. I'm going to select both drives that are in here. And of course, eventually I'm going to be adding a 3rd drive. So all the data. I'm going to hit OK. Alright, let's see here. Supports advanced features including shared folder snapshots, shared... nope, I'm going to go ahead and BTRFS, which is... that's the advanced one anyway, that's what I want. Alright, we'll hit apply. And it's going to create the volume. And we should be good to go here. I don't know how long this is going to take. We'll give it a minute. So once it was done creating, which only took a minute or so, it comes in here and now it says that there's a partial consistency check currently running on storage pool 1 may affect, because that's obviously it's a new pool, it's checking everything. Looks like there's a 0.02%. It's going to take a while obviously to do that. You can still obviously, it appears that we can still use it. We're just not going to get full resource management, so it's not going to be as fast as it could be. Now we have 2 14 terabyte drives. After formatting and everything, it looks like 12.22 terabytes. Because I'm in 1 redundant drive, even though I have 2 drives, I'm still only getting 12.22 terabytes of total capacity. That'll change when I put a 3rd drive in it. It'll up it by whatever, probably 6 terabytes to up to about 18 terabytes. That's what it should be. But for that matter, I can't do that until I wipe the other drive clean, because it's got, I think, 3 or 4 terabytes of data on it. So that's what I got to do next. We have our hard drives all formatted, everything's good to go. Now we're going to create a shared folder. So under the shared folder tab here, we're going to hit create. And I'm going to create and call this media. My media collection. I'm going to put it in volume 1. Hide this shared folder in my network places. No, hide shared folders, enable recycling bin, restrict access to administrators only. Yes, that's, well, in this way, no, I don't need to restrict access, because I want everybody that's accessing my thing to have access to this one. Encrypt this shared folder. I'm not going to encrypt it at this time. Enable data checksum for advanced data integrity. Let's find out. It cannot be modified once the shared folder is created. File self-healing and file system scrubbing are available to ensure data integrity. I'm going to go ahead and do that, because this is important data that I'm putting in this one. Enable file compression. I do not need that. Enable file share quota. I don't need that. And I'm going to hit apply. And so now we have, we can give read-write access. So currently, read-write to the admins. And we have our first shared folder. Woohoo! And now, if we come back to network, we can see Shoe Media right here. I don't know why it moved this, but let's click on that. And we can see media in there. And I already had put my password in here, so you can see disconnect here. But if I hit disconnect, I can hit connect as, and then you can put in your password information. And there we are. And now we should be able to dump some stuff. And there's even a recycling bin in there. So if, under the media, if I was to just dump, just put a file from over here, Snowstorm. See how good, that's almost a gigabyte in size, 880 megabytes. Seems to be going pretty good for speed. And now we have a file on there. Woohoo! We are set up and good. So obviously, anytime we want to add shared files, we can come into the control panel here on the Synology server, create a shared folder, and have access to that folder. So that's awesome. Okay, so actually, before I finish this video, even though I recorded the setup of this a few days ago, this is my third hard drive. I actually finished backing it, all the stuff that was on this, to the 2 drives that are actually in here already. And so I thought I'd video the part of me adding the 3rd drive real quick. And so I just took this out. I haven't even formatted this drive yet. So it's still in APFS, I think is what I had it in. So I just pulled it out of the enclosure once it's done, put it in the things here. This is going to be me first putting it into here. And these 2 are currently running, obviously. And so it should spin up and start blinking, I would think. Hoping. Maybe not until I initialize it, I guess. There it goes. All right, let's go see what it looks like on the other side. All right, so I'm gonna go to the menu and storage manager. I'm assuming it's gonna be under. So we can see at my 12.2 terabytes currently, I've used almost 4 of it already. And unused devices, 1 down here. Let's see, storage pool. Drive 1, drive 2. Configurations. So where do I find it at? HDD. Drive 3 not initialized. Here we go. So it's you can see it there, obviously. What do I do? Okay, I think I found it. If we go to storage pool, and we're in, you can see our storage pool here, which is currently just 2 drives. Under action, we can hit add drive. So I'm gonna hit add drive. Drive 3 is already highlighted. Hit next. All the data on the new drive will be erased. That's fine. I already backed it up anyway. Total capacity will jump up to 25.46 terabytes. Fantastic. Hit apply. And now we have 3 14 terabyte drives in our first storage pool. Our storage pool is expanding currently. It looks like it's doing its little thing, because right now, obviously, the 12.73 is going to jump to whatever it is. And I don't know how long it takes to expand. I'll give it time. But I thought I'd include this in the video since I haven't finished editing it yet. Sorry about the fans in the background, but as you can see, we're at like 0.39% parity consistency, so it's going to take a while before this actually reflects the actual total capacity of the storage pool. So it's going to be a little while before I actually see this, so I'm not going to actually show this in the video itself. But all 3 drives are listed. They're all healthy. They're all normal. It's just going to take a while for it to actually do it. Also, if we actually go to the data scrubbing page here, you know, or not, maybe it's under configuration. So here we go. So it's got to resync because it's going to actually have to take data from the 2 drives and put it over to the 3rd drive, so that you always have 1 drive redundancy, and that's how I have it set up. So it's going to take a little bit because it's obviously not trying to impact the overall system performance, because I am backing stuff up constantly, and that changes, you know, how fast my connection is between my computer and this guy. It all depends on the size of the file I'm transferring, but it'll transfer between, well, I would say 4 megabits and 100. It all depends on what I'm doing, but it does, you know, I did change up a couple things. I'm going to show you real quick back there what I did change. So the first thing I did change, I've replugged everything back into my switch itself. So everything is going through the switch rather than going up to my gateway and back to the switch. Everything goes through the switch for my computers or any device that's going to be connecting directly off of the Synology. I also plugged 4 cables, and that's these 4 right here, from the Synology to my switch, and I aggregated them. So all 4 of these are aggregated as one continuous, basically 4 gigabit portal to the back of the switch. And I had to do that on both the Synology side as well as my switch side, and of course I'm testing it out, and it didn't make a huge push in speed, but I think it's going to make more redundancy, specifically, when I have multiple devices connecting to this simultaneously. That's 4 1 gig pathways for it to reach the data off the Synology. And then I'm going to make this look a little cleaner in the end, but this is more of a trial and error type item. So if I go to my control panel and I click on my network, this is where I can actually go to my network interface, and I created a bond. And let me see if it shows anything on here. So yeah, you can see all 4 LAN ports on the back I bonded together as a single aggregated connection. And then after I did this on this side, I did it on my switch side as well, and that's how I got one IP address for all 4 connections, and it's using them interpin, you know, between all 4. So it's not going to increase my connection speed from my 1 computer, because that's still 1 line going to 4. So 1 line is the restriction. But if I have multiple devices reading stuff off the Synology, it should help balance that bandwidth off over 4 connections. So that's the only benefit that doing the bonding in this case. So, all right, back to me closing out this video. I closed out this video before I actually did this part, so just so you're aware. Okay, it's better. It's been actually a couple days, but it took a little while for it to do the whole moving of data back and forth and to even it out. But now you can see we actually have a 24.4 terabyte array with the 3 drives I have in place. So we're fully set, we're healthy, we're good to go. So yeah, that's how you can easily add a 3rd drive or an additional drive maybe to whatever you started with. And there we have it. I didn't want to go too crazy into the setup on this part because I have a lot to learn on this, and I want to have more hands-on approach, but this is more of the unboxing and setup and initial first use, at least so you can actually get data from your computer to the Synology server. The more I play with it, the more happy I'm going to be with it, and of course the more, more I'll know about it, because it's one thing about seeing it from somebody else's perspective than it is to see it from your own perspective. So, that is the setup. To be honest, in all reality, really pretty simple. I'm sure there's a lot of sources out there that can walk you through the setup of it, but if nothing else you saw, it was kind of weird. Now, when I first got it up and running, I went to the Finder on my Mac to see if I could connect to it. I could see it. and I connected it, it failed immediately. And then, oh yeah, I haven't created a volume yet. So I created the volume, and then I went over and tried it again, failed immediately. But after I created the shared file, or the shared folder, then it worked immediately. So don't get distraught. You know, obviously things have to be in a certain order for them to work properly, which makes sense. I have to create a volume, I have to create a file or a folder to share stuff out of on the device, and I have to tell who has access to that folder. Once you do that, then you're good to go. And golden. So, that said, guys, obviously you can create more users, you can create, there's a lot of stuff you can do with this, and that's for future videos, if nothing else. So that's my start with the Synology server. I'm really hoping that I love it as much as I'm hoping to love it. I'm bowing out of the Drobo mainly because it failed on me. The drives outlasted my Drobo itself. So, Drobo, I loved you. I really did. I thought it was a fantastic device, but when it died. I can't wait to get the Drobo rental unit so that I can get all of my data off of my Drobo, and then back, well, now onto the Synology. So, yeah. Unfortunately, with any of these proprietary hard drive format setups where you have that hybrid drive capability, I can't get the stuff off that Drobo without actually having a Drobo. So, I'm stuck waiting. But the good thing about Drobo is at least they're getting me a rental unit. I'll have to pay for it, but it is what it is. My data is worth way more than the $100 essentially that the Drobo rental is going to cost me. So there you go. If you have any questions about this setup or anything else, let me know. Head over to techgooch.com. You can get a hold of me directly. And of course, I'll have a full write-up or full review, video review on this product once I have ample time using it. This is going to be more of trying video editing off it, trying connecting it to my Apple TVs, my tablets, my MacBooks, everything. I want to see how it works with all of my devices, and then I'll have more straightforward from there. You can also connect to it directly from your mobile devices, like the iPhones and Android phones out there. And there actually is a QR code in that little book it came with, so you could probably even set it up directly through that. I did not. I set it up through the computer, but that's easier and faster, in my opinion, for this. So, that's it, guys. Thanks for watching. We'll catch you back here on GeekSmart for another future video setup and tutorial. We'll see you soon.